Hola. From the west side. It's me, DC the Purple Diva. And welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Saturday, y'all. Sorry that earlier session was a little crazy, but I lost my signal while I was in the store, and I couldn't do anything about it. So when I came out of the store, I just ended the live. Hey, Marlo. Hey, Marla. Hola. Happy Saturday. I am doing good today. Doing well. Hey, big boy. How are you? Happy Saturday night. If you guys don't know, that's my son in the background. He's just kind of chilling with me. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things, and then, I'll probably drop a link down into the chat. But today is National, a homeless day. We're all over the country. People are sleeping outside to, get a taste of what it feels like to be homeless. So, like in the Los Angeles area, they're doing the homeless sleep out at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And I know that they're doing it in some other cities. And I think that is very, very commendable, to try to experience what it's like. However, I don't think sleeping in the Rose Bowl is quite the same experience that the homeless on Skid Row in Los Angeles feel. Because, last Saturday, my sister, myself, and some other people were out with a ministry that was giving, and we were giving out blankets and hats and gloves to homeless people, along with, a little something to eat. And also we gave them socks. Socks is a really important thing. Hey, Cherry Talks, how are you? Hey, Rachel. So, sleeping at the Rose Bowl, that's like a slumber party compared to true homelessness, out on the streets. And just to be clear, all people who are, hey, J-Dog, all people who are homeless, they aren't all sleeping out on the streets. You have people who are homeless and they may be sleeping in hotels, or they may be couch surfing, from, pillar to post. So there's all kinds of situations in regards to homelessness. Not all of it is on the streets. But one of the things that really is an issue here in Los Angeles, and I'm sure those of you who are not in the Los Angeles area know, is that it's a huge homeless issue in the Los Angeles area. And I think a lot of it is attributed to when we went through the Big Short with the real estate market, because a lot of people lost their homes. But also the other issue is that the cost of real estate now exceeds the cost of, what people make. So there are many people that are spending probably more than 50% of their salaries or their wages on a place to live. So I know that homelessness is a serious problem, and I know that many people have gone through periods in their life where they may have been homeless, even if it was for a short period of time. I mean, I went through that myself. I wasn't on the streets, but I was in between places and it wasn't fun. It was not fun, hanging out at somebody else's house, but I really think that it is, a good idea for our country as a whole to just remember, our homeless. But I think that we need to do more than have a big slumber party. I think we need to do more than just that. That's just my feeling. I'm sorry if I'm chewing. I'm chewing a potato chip, guys. And before I started the show, I actually went, because it's a little chilly here tonight. So I went and got myself some hot chocolate with some marshmallows and some peppermint sticks in it. And it is delicious, guys. But I think that the homeless problem here in our country is a serious issue. But I think that the only way that it really is going to be resolved is really if we made more serious efforts towards affordable housing. But that wasn't really what I really wanted to talk about tonight. I kind of wanted to touch on Western education and how it's changed. And, the way that our education system originally was to create free thinkers, to help us to know how to run our own businesses. Kids used to learn finance when they were in high school. They had some type of business classes in high school. But now, that's not quite the way that our Western education system goes. It's really, now you have elementary school is to prepare you to go to college. It's prepare you to go to middle school. Middle school is to prepare you to go to high school. High school is to prepare you to go to college. And then college is to prepare you to go to work. Not to be free thinkers. And there's a reason why they've kind of changed that. Because if you guys notice, probably I'd say in the early 21st century, in the early 2000s, they started shifting people from going to college to get degrees in certain things, like in the health field. They had them to go into like quote unquote vocations. And a lot of the high schools were not really doing what is called college preparatory. So we went through this period of time where a lot of people were not going to college to become nurses or to become doctors. They were doing these programs so they could become x-ray techs and phlebotomists. Nothing against phlebotomists. We need them. And medical assistants and nursing assistants. And you get what I'm saying. And now, because of that, I don't know what happened with my sound. It went away, guys. Oh, I know what happened. The sound thing had a brain fart. So now we have a shortage of trained healthcare professionals as our population ages. All because 20 years ago, we decided to, and I'm saying we as a society, decided to steer people away from professional careers in healthcare towards vocational careers in healthcare. And I don't know what this thing is doing, so I'm just going to leave it be for the moment. And then after that, now we have a lot of baby boomers who are coming to a certain age, and there are doctors and nurses in that age range. My dad is one of them, but thankfully he's still one of the working physicians because, as I said, there are not a lot of physicians. So you've got a lot of older doctors who are ready to retire, like my dad, but are staying on, in anticipation for younger doctors. Okay, I think I got this thing working again, guys. I think I got it working again. I don't think that's a song I had, but I digress. So that's one of the things that's happened in the health care field. But one of the other things that has happened is that our country has pushed people more towards believing, and there's nothing wrong with getting a college degree and going to college, because I did, but that is the end all and be all, instead of us being free thinkers and thinking about having our own businesses. And so as it keeps moving that way, one of the reasons that this is going on is that in the early 20th century, before any of us were really born, Russia and some elitists, Carnegie Mellon, came up with certain things that they thought should be the way that the education should be in the West, meaning us. what they, in fact, were suggesting was to move our education towards regionalized education. And in other words, you know, instead of having the smaller classes and the smaller schools, get into the bigger schools where kids are being bused, and then you have a huge mix of kids from different parts, you know, of the community that not necessarily grow up together, mixing together. And I'm not talking about integration, because this is more of like a socioeconomic mixture. But it was, they wanted our education system in some ways to become more socialist / communist. You know, instead, you know, education for the greater good. People only learning a certain amount, what they needed to know to do whatever it is that is best for the people. You know, like kind of carving out the path that each person would go and setting the limitations according to how each person could go. So that was part of the stuff that they did. And hold on one second, guys. I'm just going to put it on pause for just one moment. I'll be right back. I'm just going to pause it, but I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to be mom for a minute there. So, if you guys kind of look at our education system here in the United States, all the way up to college, the education system in the United States has deteriorated in what we're teaching our kids as far as what they need to learn versus useless stuff, you know, kind of giving them only what you want them to know coming through, like as far as, you know, the different curriculums. And by doing this kind of education that we have been doing, this is one of the reasons why you have all these charter schools springing up, mind you, even though that's a whole nother discussion. But in doing all of this, trying to kind of bring our education to this socialist kind of education systems, our education system here compared to the education systems in other parts of the world in the math and the sciences is very, very weak. And part of that is because, of course, you know, we've done all of these consolidations and everything. And when they do this stuff, the thing is that they tell you that it's to save money. They don't save any money by consolidating school. It's a bunch of bull. Okay? They do it so that they can, you know, change the way that we educate our kids and change the way that they think. Basically, what they wanted is that is for the kids to basically kind of be, walking, talking, carbon copies of what it was that they learned in school, not thinking for themselves, and just doing what it is that is expected of them in society. Now, of course, that's not really necessarily the way that things happened, but that was the intent. Yeah, we have schools for the arts, and we have like some schools that are like technical and science based schools. But that's outside of what it was that they planned. They wanted to nationalize the education system and to dumb down our kids. And it's been working. Because if you think about it, other parts of the world, education systems are superior to ours. Superior to ours. And I wouldn't even say it's that, like in certain parts of the world, they go to school, 6 days a week, and they go to school most of the year. I don't think that that's what the issue is. I think the issue is what the content is of our education, because we've done so many things to dumb things down, like new math and whole word instead of phonetically learning how to read. Those are ways that we have kind of dumbed down the system. Those are just some of the examples. Just looking in the chat, make sure I'm not boring you guys. But I just want to I wanted to kind of touch on that, really, because having our education system dumbed down this way is to the benefit of other parts of the world. And it's also in line with what they're trying to do with this new world order. But when I do the conversation about the new world order, after we get through all of the other conversation, all of the other things that we kind of build up to get into that, you'll kind of understand how it works inside of it. And the new world order thing, guys, is not something new. This is something that's been going on since the beginning of the 20th century, and we're now 20 years into the 21st century. But I try to lay some of the groundwork, and then I've also been in tandem with other content creators like Terry to give more analysts around that. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is that R. Kelly looks like he's going down, y'all. He has been indicted, and they have of the record, on the racketeering charges, but they're somehow tying his dealings with Aaliyah, marrying her underage, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They want to act like it didn't happen, but yeah, we all know that they faked her age, said she was 18, and she was 15, which was under the age to get married in the state of Illinois, which is where they did get married. And how her parents got it annulled. Hey, Matt, how you doing? But see, now what's going to happen now, because what you guys don't know is that R. Kelly had all of Aaliyah's music and stuff. you know, because of some shady deal between him and Barry Hankerson. Barry Hankerson was Aaliyah's mother's brother, her uncle, also the ex-husband of Gladys Knight. That's right, that Gladys Knight. Just giving y'all a little history. But anyway, so with all of this stuff that's going on, they're pulling out the stuff of how he got that music, I guess, and how he got the rights to all that stuff. So, you know, I guess Aaliyah's family will finally get the rights, you know, rights to all their stuff like they should have had in the first place. That's part of the reason why every time there was an Aaliyah movie, you didn't have any of any of her original music. It, you know, yes, the family didn't want her music in the movies, but also they didn't have the rights to the music to put it in the movies. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're you know, I mean, R. Kelly is going to go down because the federal government wants to look like, and I agree, and I've heard this in other YouTube commentary, so you know, it's not just my own thoughts, but I agree with their commentary in regards to this. You know, they want to make an example of him in the fact that they are protecting girls, not just, this has nothing to do with the black girls, but that they are protecting girls, you know, because, you know, even though I don't think that we've seen any white young ladies involved in this stuff. There were way back in the day when he was still part of Public Announcement. He's always had a flavor for young girls. And I say that because I know one personally that went out with him. And she was only 17. Yeah. She was only 17. And he, oh, shoot, was too old to be going out with her. And she was not black. She was white. So, you know, young girls, that's what he liked. But he did have a type, you know. He did like the ones that are kind of, you know, more mannish body, I guess. You know, not really developed like a female, a woman. You know, but the girl that I knew was nice. But she did deal with that gentleman way back. We're talking about back in the late 80s. Yeah, Public Announcement days, like I said. So I'm not. No, Robert doesn't think that he's done anything wrong because he beat the state charges and the state can't, you know, try him again. However, he is now in the federal government's hands. And as, you know, most of us know with racketeering, there's not a statute of limitations of bringing you up on the charges of racketeering. They can go back as far as they want. Now they do have a time limit on building their case, but they don't have a time limit on how far back they can go. So they're pulling everything into this, you know, not necessarily the young ladies that are with him, right, you know, now, silly, but they probably will, because even though these young ladies gave their consent, They were still young. They were still underage. And their parents probably should go down for that. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have turned a dime on him so that they don't have to go down, so that he will be going down. Because I think they wanted to put him under the jail. You know, because let's not get it twisted. He's a pedophile. So he's going, you know, and I mean, but what they're tying it into is they're tying it into the sex trafficking, into the human trafficking stuff, which, you know, we're getting a lot of heat for. Our country is, you know, because of all that's going on. However, he, you know, kind of was doing that because he crossed state lines with these girls. So that's how they're making it into a racketeering thing. And now that he's in the federal custody, man, I think there's just more indictments to come. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But here's the thing: if they may be testifying against him, so that they can get him, and really, you know, with the feds, you know, they're going after the big fish. In this situation, R. Kelly is the big fish. But I agree, everybody should be held accountable, including those parents. You know. You know, but Mr. Kelly, you know, and hey, we all used to like his music and everything. But yeah, I don't really listen to his music much anymore because I'm not trying to give him, you know, I'm not, you know, streaming it or anything. I don't even, do they even have his music playing on stuff? I mean, I know it plays on the radio and stuff every you know, here and there, but you know, because he still has supporters. There's still people out there that think that he did not do any of this. They think that tape wasn't him. Never mind the fact that there are other tapes that have apparently popped up. You know, they don't think it was him. Insane. You know, I think it was him. You know, because it's been a known fact for years this man liked young girls. This didn't just suddenly start. It didn't just suddenly start. He has been like this his entire career. All the way back to when he was part of Public Announcement. Before he was just R. Kelly by himself. When he was Public Announcement. You know, it's unfortunate that he's probably not going to pay for everything that he's done, but he's going to pay for some of it, you know. And I'm tired of people talking about how those little young girls were, you know, consented. It doesn't matter if you're 16, 17. You are not an adult. You're not making that decision, you know, as an adult. He was the adult. Man, those parents are so shady. you know, and even though I believe Azrael has left him, she's not gone back to her parents. I don't know where the heck she is, but she ain't with her parents. And Tasha K seems to know a whole lot, but she's not telling. She's not telling. And I can't say I blame her for that. You know, she got to keep her sources, you know, close to the vest. You know, but people think that this is all new. What they don't understand is that this federal case has been going on for years. We just didn't know it was going on. They were just waiting until he had exhausted all of the state cases before they went after him. Because if the state had gotten him, I think that they probably wouldn't have gone after him with the federal charges, you know, but maybe they would have. But they've had this, and they don't have to have the same type of evidence for a racketeering case that they had to have for those state cases. You know, they don't have to have the same type of evidence. But I tell you what, when they do take it to trial, please don't show it on TV. We don't need to give this man any more attention. You know, he's a pedophile. You know, yes, he made plenty of great music, you know, but he is a proven pedophile. Proven pedophile. You know, unlike these made up cases in regards to Michael Jackson that, as far as we know, have all been made to be fabricated. In this situation, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, lots of people saw that tape. And, you know, from what I understand, even as grainy as it was, most people that I know that saw it said that it was him. You know, him and his brother don't look that much alike. So, and now that they say they have the feds have other tapes, you know, it's a lot more going on that, you know, they're only letting us know part of what they have, you know, but we know that they're rolling Aaliyah, the marriage to Aaliyah into this. And I just wish they would just let that girl rest in peace and not bring her into this stuff. Hey, AKA James. Yep. And I don't even know what to say about Oprah. And then, you know, and then Andrea Kelly. Okay, so, you know, now there's accusations coming out in regards to her, you know, and let me be honest. I find it very, very hard to believe that she was married to that man all that time and she had no idea about all this stuff and it was going on in the same house. You know, get out of here with that. You know, and she's saying, well, he was doing similar stuff to her. I say again, I don't believe that she is a victim in this. I believe that she enabled it with her silence. That's what I believe. Hey, Health Weight and Real Talk. Child, Oprah, I can't. I'm not even gonna have that conversation. I can't even talk about her because, you know, her and her best friend Gail. You know, I mean, you know, Oprah is the poster child for telling black women not to get married. You know, not to, you know, not to have a family, you know, do it all on your own. I ain't got time for that. Oh yeah, exactly. And the wild thing is that for years nobody even knew this man had that was his wife. Okay, when they were married, you know, and she claims that she was kept isolated from everybody else. So did he isolate everybody? Was everybody a prisoner in the house? How was she raising the kids if she was being isolated? You see what I'm saying? Who was raising the kids? And, you know, his poor children. His poor children. They all messed up. They all messed up. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying they saw anything or they didn't see anything, but even if they didn't see anything, it was happening in the house where they were. You know, and those spirits, y'all, those spirits. He has so many people that helped him to do this. They all need to go to jail. Every single one of them. Especially the parents of all of the girls, including Sparkle's little cousin. Her father, too, who I believe was playing in R. Kelly's band until recently. Yeah. It's a daggone shame what they did, what they allowed him to do to that girl and allowed him to get away with it for a job and for some money. Seriously. Just crazy to me. Just crazy how they did that. You know, but nah, Andrea ain't she's as innocent as Nicole Richie, as Nicole Murphy is in messing around with Layla Rashawn's husband. She's that innocent, okay? That's how innocent she is to me. That's what they say, Matt. That's what they say. They say that in some of those situations, she may have been, that allegedly she was involved. Allegedly. You know. And, you know, how can any of these people live with themselves, you know, that allowed this man to just do this craziness? How can any of these people live with themselves? I just don't get it, you know, because I hate to say it, but if this had been if all of these had been, you know, white little girls, Y'all know they wouldn't have allowed him to do this for so long. But because he wasn't touching their little girls, and as far as they knew, because I told you, but that was just dating and stuff, you know, with that little girl. He wasn't doing it. Back then, he wasn't as crazy. He wasn't as crazy. He wasn't as crazy as he is now. You know, in regards to, you know, thinking that he could live a lifestyle like that and it not catch up with him. And thinking that he was doing absolutely nothing wrong, that there was nothing inappropriate about him at 50 being with some little girls like that. He didn't think nothing was wrong. He didn't think anything was wrong. You know, well, you know, she started out as his dancer, you know, and according to the way she tells it, you know, he pursued her. She was never really interested in him originally. So she says, you know, and then when she got with him, you know, I guess him covering up the fact that he was with her and that they were married and everything, you know, because how many times did y'all actually hear about the fact he had a wife and kids all over the years? Barely. Barely. You barely heard it. You know, and I'm not, and this is nothing against Andrea Kelly, okay, but she's not like spectacular looking. She's just ordinary looking. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen the pictures of her when she was a little younger, you know, when he first met her. And she was a little cute then and everything, you know, but you can see that life of being his wife on her face, which tells me she had to know something. Exactly. Average looking. She's not ugly. She's just average looking. You know, and, you know, those little girls, I mean, they're not like, you know, like the most beautiful girls in the world, but they are better looking than his wife. I mean, and Azriel is very, very pretty. And apparently she's the one who could really sing, but, you know. But yeah, they putting that fool up under the jail. He's really going to be under the jail.
Okay.
Health Leighton, real talk. Ooh. Wow, child. He never even appealed to me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I mean, he's in the same age range as me, but well, nobody looking at him. Mm-hmm. I just thought he was very talented and could sing, you know. But again, I always knew about him with his little young girl thing because, you know, I mean, I think I've mentioned in other lives and stuff that, you know, I was in the music industry and I did session work and was doing singing and everything. So I was around a lot of stuff. And, you know, I thought I was going to go into music and, you know, be a singer and, you know, be a star. That's what I thought I was going to be back in the day. But I didn't want to compromise my soul. So, yeah. But it was a known fact that he liked young girls. It was a not so secret thing. You know, so that's why I'm like, everybody knew this man liked young girls. Everybody knew that marriage back in the day to Aaliyah was real. We knew all that stuff really happened. So I don't even understand why anybody is really shocked that his day of reckoning has finally come. You know, any other pedophile, we would, you know, people wouldn't be trying to defend. Why are these fools out there trying to defend this fool? You right about that. You right about that. But you know, they tried to deny that it even happened. Real talk. They tried to deny that it even happened. They tried to make us think that it never happened. He's never even copped to it. He's never even copped to it. But public records don't lie. You know, they couldn't pay off all the officials. They couldn't expunge that from public records. That's illegal. You know what I mean? So it was always out there.
I heard.
Yeah, they got it annulled. You know, because she wasn't old enough to be married in the state of Illinois. I believe in the state of Illinois, you had to be 16. She was 15. And they lied and said she was 18. So. No. You know, he groomed her. He groomed Aaliyah. Because y'all remember back in the day, he had her dressing like him and stuff. Y'all remember when they were on 106 and Park, and they came on there dressed alike, and she was a little teenage girl. And we, you know, we all thought that was a little strange. We all thought that was a little strange. You know, but Barry Hankerson was going along with that stuff because he wanted to get that, you know, money for her albums and stuff going out. Because remember, Aaliyah was on Black Ground Records. That was Barry Hankerson's record label. It's defunct now, but that was the record label that she was on. No. And if you look at all of her records, you will see Black Ground is on there, on every one, all the way up to the last one. And all that music that all her early music, I believe, R. Kelly had all her early stuff, you know, like age ain't nothing but a number, all that stuff. Yeah. Because he wrote everything. Now I guess they'll get all her music and stuff. The masters, the royalties, all that stuff. They'll get that stuff. But he don't have no more money. You know, he got these people out there working to keep them girls in a house. They don't even have no money. They don't have money to go get no food. You know, that's why Azrael left. She didn't want to. She got tired of having to ask somebody. So she left. You know, but I'm gonna keep moving on. And then I'm gonna talk about, because we can't actually say people, I have to talk around the situation. So I'll just say that there is a content creator that has an organization that many of us think of as a cult that has been arrested in another country along with the other members of said organization. And 3 of the members of said organization have been deported from that other country back to here. They still have babies down there because they have this crazy rule about, you know, you have to have the consent of the husband in order to take the baby out the country. Check it out. One of the ones that was deported supposedly is the husband for one, you know, and so the babies are still down there. And then you have these people thinking that they need a interpreter, but in this particular country, Panama, they speak English and Spanish. So I don't know about any interpreters that these people may need. They just need to go to the U.S. Embassy to get themselves out of there, since they were apparently squatting at the property that they were at. That they were, you know, pushing out their videos that we all saw out here on YouTube. You know, so and this individual is another individual that thinks it's okay to sleep with underage girls. Yeah. He thinks it's okay too. You know, that's part of his beliefs in his organization, aka alleged cult. You know, he too had something similar, and he tried to put it under the religious guise and everything. So apparently these individuals also got kicked out of 2 other countries, Costa Rica and Nicaragua. So I don't think we're going to be seeing them on YouTube anytime soon, but I could be wrong. But I don't think we're going to be seeing those people on YouTube anytime soon. But, you know, yeah, in the case of Mr. Kelly, yeah, this president is desperate at this particular point. You know, I mean, you know, he's killing folk, you know, getting rid of the head of ISIS. That didn't work. So now, you know, he got to do something. You got to do something. You know, and this is federal. I don't think there's any chance in hell that R. Kelly's gonna get pardoned. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But it looks like they're probably gonna try to impeach the president. So yeah. It's going to be interesting if they actually do impeach him, because I don't think that he's going to be willing to leave office. I think it's going to be a very sticky situation. Yeah. I just think that it's going to get kind of crazy. But whatever they're going to do, it's not going to happen until after the holidays. You know, they're going to make whatever their recommendations are. Then they're going to go on break for the holiday, and then they'll come back in January and do whatever the heck it is that they're going to do. So I guess they're going to put us through more boring hearings this week. As they're putting together the articles. I don't need to see anything else. Okay? I don't need to see anything else until you're actually having the impeachment trial, if that is where it goes. He probably will. That man ain't trying to leave office. That man is not trying to leave office. Only way y'all gonna get him out is vote him out. And, you know, he's busy going around the country saying that he's turning all the blue states purple. So, and I know, like I know California, he doesn't even have a chance. And he keeps doing stuff to the state of California that just makes them, this just makes them not want to vote for him. So the little teeny Republican base that he does have here may be turning on him. So he might just want to stop doing stuff to the state of California, if he wants to get any votes out of here. But I did hear from another YouTuber that lives up in the Northwest that the state of Washington is purple now. So, yeah, he's punishing the state of California. I live in the state of California, so I take offense to that. And I'm not a Democrat. So, but I don't see, if he turns more people Republican, more people vote for him, then we are in real trouble. I think that Kamala left. I think that Kamala got out because she knew there wasn't a chance of her being the candidate. But I think the other thing is that she thinks that she might have a chance of being a vice presidential candidate on somebody else's ticket. But if that candidate ends up being Joe Biden, I don't think that's going to happen. Not the way she tried to tear into him. Not the way she tears into him. Let me look at your phone. It's still, yeah. My son's phone was dead, so I don't know if any of you guys have an iPhone, but y'all know when the iPhones are dead and you charge them back up, it takes forever for it to get past that 1%. So it's been sitting on 1% for 30 minutes, and he's upset because he can't use it until it, gets up to at least 20%. But he's impatient. He wants to use it right now. So, and he's not feeling well, guys. He's got a cold. I'm just hoping he keeps the cold away from mom, because mom does not want his cold. I do not need to get sick. I do not work outside of the home. I don't go anywhere where I should be catching any germs. But I think it's just the weather here in California. Well, in the part of California that we live in. And really the whole state, because we, with the rain, it rained earlier this week, then we got a break, then it started raining again. It's supposed to rain through to tomorrow, but it's not raining right now. you know. But hopefully in the morning he'll be okay. Otherwise, he will be at home instead of going to church. Yeah, I know. I gave him something. But it hasn't, hit him yet. But he'll probably be fine by tomorrow. I just don't want whatever cold he got. I don't want it. I don't need any colds. I hate colds. Yeah, but yeah, he'll probably. And he rarely gets sick. That's the other reason why he doesn't. He's not feeling, having the sniffles, because he doesn't even get sick that often. But his mood is changing. He's getting in a better mood, so that's always better. Because I'm not in a good mood when I'm sick. My mood sucks when I'm sick, as a matter of fact. But couple more days, guys. And it'll be the 10th of December. And that is the day, supposedly, that is the day as far as all the shenanigans that have been going on, hopefully, on YouTube. So we'll only be seeing content everywhere. That's what I hope. That's what I pray. Everyone's giving content, giving their opinions. Even if their content is part of other people's content, who cares? You can give your opinion. Just be, respectful of other people in these YouTube streets. And have fun. All about having fun. I'm thinking about doing some simulcasts to my Facebook page for Chronicles of an RT Autism Mom, but I probably will only do them simulcast between the two pages, between YouTube and Facebook, if I'm talking about autism. Like if the live is specifically about autism or something, then I will do the simulcast between the two. But if I'm doing my not so random chat, because it is not so random chat, but it can go the gambit of whatever we want to talk about. I don't think that I will share these with Facebook. If they want to be in the not so random chat, they're going to need to come on over to YouTube. You are so funny, Matt. Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's people that have channels. Like one person who subscribed to me, and so I went to visit their page. Their introduction video is them dancing in some shorts, twerking. They had on clothes, but I was like, really? Is this the video? So I don't think that that's going to go away, that kind of stuff, because there is an audience for that, and they're not actually causing any drama with that, but, I just hope that when they do these things, where they're scantily clothed, because YouTube's not going to let them come on there nude, they need to remember that the internet lasts forever. And it will be on YouTube forever. Unless YouTube takes it down. So just like when they put the stuff on Instagram and stuff, it's the same thing. Oh, man, I don't even remember who it was. That's how I'm not going to name any, but I'm sure it was not an American. I can tell you that much. It was somebody from another country. It was someone from another country. This thing has been acted up all day. It just doesn't want to play any music for me. Now it's died. So I'm just going to cut it off. Oh, there it is. There it is. But let me see. Yep, porn sites last forever. I'm sure Kanye knows that better than anybody else. I know that just bothers him that his wife is out on that porn website forever and forever. Other men are going to be using their imaginations, watching that video of him, of her and Ray J. Looks good for Ray J. Doesn't look so good for Kanye, especially since he says that he's born again now, spirit filled with the Holy Ghost, loves Jesus. So, yeah. But he's just gonna have to let that be. Because it is what it is. He knew what the deal was when he married her. He knew what the deal was when he married her. Can't change her. And I think that he is now seeing what his DNA comes out to be when he mixed it with her. Because, there was reports that he was upset that, North had on makeup and stuff. Kim had her putting on makeup and stuff, and he didn't want her to have on makeup, which I totally understand. She is too young to have on makeup. Sorry, but I think she is. Except on like a special occasion, if they're going out someplace, to an awards thing or something. But other than that, she don't need to have no makeup. I mean, but he has to remember who her mother is, and she's got that. Kim has that exhibitionist spirit, because even after having babies, I say with an S, IES, babies, she's still trying to post pictures half naked. Yeah, y'all, press that like button. Let me see. 4 people have pressed the like button. Let me change. Let me put my little banner up. Make y'all remember. There we go. That's why I put the little banner up. There we go. I'm learning how to use this StreamYard stuff. I know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be the purple angel for a while, guys. I like her. I like her. I found her somewhere out on the internet. I was and she was black, so that's why I had to get her. A black purple angel. I just thought it was so cool. Cause I like these kind of pictures. I'm still trying to figure out, I'm still trying to draw out what I want for my brand. So I haven't figured it out yet. Once I figure it out, then I gotta go get one of the drawing apps so I can draw it out. Myself, of course. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And I put it up there, you know, in honor of, you know, another YouTuber who had gotten dragged about having an avatar that was not themselves, as their profile picture. Nonetheless, now I'm not going to make this avatar my profile picture on YouTube because I like the profile picture with, you know, with my son with his head sticking out behind me. I had a couple of people saying, "Hey, is that your guy behind you?" I said, "Yeah, that's my son guy." I said, "That's my son who's a man." That's why I had that picture as my profile picture, so that he could be in the picture. But yeah, I need to put something. I want to put something that is arts, you know, art related, along with like the autism puzzle piece. So since I am a creative, I've drawn out a couple of things. I just don't like what I've drawn out yet. So I'm still working on it. But I also am still working on the end of the book on raising up my son. That kind of goes up until he got out of school. And I hopefully will be finished with it by the end of this month. Because I need it to be done by the end of this month so that I can be sending it off to get it edited, you know, by the beginning of the year, so that by my birthday month, it will be ready to go to the publisher. Because my birthday month is February. And I just have it hopefully to go by then. So we'll see how that works. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. I swear I don't. I think it's just losing stuff. What are you doing, son? I think that it's just losing, because it's losing its power. So I think I'm going to plug it back in. I had unplugged it, but I think I'm going to plug it back in. It's just a lazy daisy Saturday night. Let me see what you said, Matt. I know. I noticed that. I noticed that, Matt. This thing has been acting wonky today. I think I just need to back the iPad up. I think I need to back it up. Because it is acting trippy. And I'm pulling the music from the cloud too. I'm pulling the music from the cloud. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. So we'll see how long it lasts this time. Because it's on loop. Let me see a little bit. Yep. Baby. Yep, it's doing its normal loop. Oh, yeah. Well, you know. I'm not worried about the spies. You know, you can be, if they want to stay in the clouds and watch, they can stay in the clouds and watch. That's fine. That is so fine. Just make sure you smash that like button from the clouds, please. Thank you very much. Even in the clouds, please smash the like button for me. Thank you. You know, I know some people, they say, oh, I was in your live. Really, I didn't see you. Oh, I didn't say anything in the chat, but I was there. So I'm like, that's fine. You know, some people just, they just like to listen and not participate. You know? And I mean, I don't care. Either way works for moi. Cause see, when we have this thing and we have the chat that's flying a mile a minute, then they gonna wish that they were down in the chat right now. You know, when you can sit and just talk. Because there's been a few channels that I've been on, and I was on it when they started, when there was hardly anybody in the chat, and I would be down in the chat, and now it's like you can barely see anybody coming through. You can barely see people coming through. It's like, you know, and it'll be like some of them, you know, and some of them are like, I know the channel hosts, they'll send me a message after they say, I didn't even see you in the chat. It was going by so fast. Yep. I said, the only ones you need to see in the chat are the trolls. I said, that's the only ones we care about in the chat. Yeah. You know, because we want to kick them up out of there. Yep. Exactly. But that's okay. You know, because we all here to do our own things on YouTube. And I like my chat the way it is right now because it allows me to figure out the stuff that y'all like to talk about, even if it's nothing. even if it's something silly, you know, or even if it's something controversial like our friend Mr. R. Kelly. God, I just can't believe that we all used to like this dude. This pisses me off. Pedophile. You know? Because, like, okay, so, like when he was talking to this little chick here, you know, when I was a lot younger, she used to do my nails. That's how I know. You know? And she was like 17. But he was in his 20s. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't as creepy as him being 50 and still talking to girls that age. He was in his 20s. She was 17. And in the state of California, she was of legal age to consent to be in with him. And as far as I knew, he didn't talk to her before she was 17. You know, but that was back in the day. You know, but after I heard about him with the little chick, with the little, you know, the niece of Sparkle, the singer Sparkle, I wasn't really freaking feeling him. You know, I thought at that particular point, you know, the best bet for him was to write for other people and just don't put nothing else out and stop going around here being cocky, you know. But then he beat that case because they all denied everything. And then things just kept going on, just kept going on and just kept going on. And then, you know, when this stuff came out, you know, a few years ago about him like having, you know, all these women and stuff, we were like, what the heck? We were all looking and saying, now, how long are they going to let this go on? Because to us, we felt that they were allowing this to go on because it was Black women. But really, they don't really care. They don't really care about the fact that it's Black women. They just care about the fact that by putting this man down, it shows that they are doing something about the human trafficking and the sex trafficking of young girls. You know, that's what it looks like to them. Exactly, Matt. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, back then, you know, when I knew this girl that he was, it wasn't as crazy to me. Of course, you know, I still thought that she should be 18, but that's just my personal opinion. But, you know, because the state I came from, you had to be 18. State I came from, you had to be 18. But California is a little bit more liberal. 17 here. You know, so, and he was still in public announcement. So I don't even think he was 25. Or he was 25 at the oldest. See? So you see, then that's not such a big age difference. And it doesn't look so odd. You know? And this was all back then when Aaliyah was still alive. So I don't know. I really don't know if this had to be before Aaliyah. Because when he did the stuff for Aaliyah, he was no longer public announcement. He was just trying to do R. Kelly. So yeah. So this was before Aaliyah. So that would indicate that, yeah, this has just always been him. Aaliyah was just one of many. You know, she was just one of many. Yeah, but that was too hard for him to do. It was too hard for him to just go sit down somewhere. So he didn't. You know, just like O.J. Simpson couldn't go sit his butt down. But unlike R. Kelly, they look at people who kill people differently than they look at people who do things to children. Hey, Terry. How are you? Let me see. I'm gonna put the link down in the chat. Yeah. But if OJ had just sat his behind down, he would have never gone to jail. Oh, no worries, Terry. I knew that your phone probably had died. I figured that's what had happened. I figured that's what it was. So no worries. That's why, I gave you a few minutes and I just figured that that's what had happened. So I just went ahead and ended the broadcast. It was no worries, no worries. So you guys, I put the link down in the chat if anybody wants to come up, wants to talk about anything. Knows your secret. He knows your secret. He knows your secret. We won't tell. We won't tell. We won't tell. We won't tell. No, I just see it when he typed it in there. But it won't show up in the playback because I usually disable the comments. Yeah, it won't show back. It won't show in the playback because I usually disable the comments. Yeah, so I would not worry. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put you guys on mute for 1 second. Oh, I'm gonna let Terry up first. Hey, Terry, you there?
Hey, sis. Yes.
Hey,
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute myself. You can. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. How you doing, Mac? the chat tonight.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, we've got a pretty full chat.
Yeah.
Health Weight and Real Talk is here.
Health Weight. How you doing, Health Weight? Yeah.
AKA James was in here earlier. I don't know if he left. But I think we have some Cloud Watchers too. And then J Dog was here, Jerry's Talk, Big Boy. It was a few new people.
Right.
Yeah, that I made friends with today.
Okay.
But at the beginning, I did talk about.
That's great.
I did kind of brush up on the on Western education and what the plan was for Western education.
Oh yeah.
So part of what I talked about.
Yeah.
And, maybe you can chime in the stuff that you know. But part of what I talked about is that all of this really goes back to the turn of the century. And I'm not talking about the turn of this century. I'm talking about the turn of last century, where Carnegie Mellon was basically in cahoots with Russia, because it wasn't the Soviet Union, I don't believe, at that point. But basically, they wanted to to do certain things in Western religion, aka the U.S. religion. I mean education, to make it, to basically start to systematically dumb down our kids. In other words, instead of people coming out of school as being creative and being free thinkers and being inventors, to come out to basically hold a job. And it was more of a they wanted us to go into more of a socialist, communist type of education. And there are remnants of it in our education system as it stands today. Part of it is that, well, that the reasoning behind the world wars was to make people act certain ways, was to make us acclimate to the way that they want, like when they did World War I, and then people called up, was it World War I? Which one was HDR, the president? Was he president in World War II or World War I?
Are you talking about Roosevelt?
Roosevelt, Franklin.
Yeah. That was too.
He was asked to delay stopping, ending the war. So I mean, a lot of the things, a lot of the stuff was obviously for political reasons, but the educational system was, they wanted, it's all around how of them turning everything into the New World Order.
Right, but you actually said socialism. I mean, why did they say that, and how does because
they had an idea of the schools going from local to regional, and how we do the consolidations of schools, and they tell you that they're doing that because it will save money. It doesn't actually save money, but that's part of that plan. So they didn't implement the full plan, but there are elements of it that are in our current education system, because they switched the way that our education systems go. Because the way that the education system goes now is primary school is to get you to what you need to know to do middle school. Middle school is to get you to know what you need to have for high school. High school is for college prep.
Okay.
That's the way that they have it inked out. And then college is not to prepare you for your own business, because before they used to have finance and business and accounting classes in high schools. None of that's in high schools anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't gear our kids toward their own businesses and having the tools to start their own businesses. They gear them towards going to college to go to work for somebody else, and that's part of the the socialist thing. You know how they put each person into a certain peg. They peg them into certain roles. They carve them out. They carve out that society needs X amount of people to do this. Because that was one of the reasons why we went through the phases where they were steering people away from being doctors and nurses to being health, to the assistants and to those other vocational jobs in there. But they shot themselves in the foot because now they don't have enough doctors or nurses.
Right, because normally if you have a preponderance of raw materials, normally a planned economy works, though. So I'm trying to figure out why would they even use that.
But we started out as a rugged economy of free thinkers. That's not how that's not how we are. That's not how we're schooling our kids. We're schooling our kids to go work for somebody else.
No, I understand that, but I'm trying to figure out why would they use? Well, they probably they misuse the word anyway.
What I'm trying to tell you is that the based on our country has been in cahoots as far as the way we educate our kids with the Soviet Union, with Russia, whoever you want to call them, USSR, since the beginning of the last century. And it's all about.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think a lot. I think they don't rightfully. Yeah, I think they misuse socialism though, because I know that's just to give it a bad word, but they're certainly doing something. I'm not saying they're doing bad, but the fact that they're describing it as socialism to actually describe it, that's the problem.
Socialism. That what they said is that they were using socialism principles for the education system.
Right, but that's what. Right, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of times people don't understand what it is, though, that they're saying. They normally their job is always to make it sound like it's a bad word, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want it to be successful. They don't want it to work. So, but that's what they want to do in Africa, though. A unified Africa. They want to use socialism, but not as it known by Marxists, though. You understand? Yeah. So that's why I was just contrasting it. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I understand what they're trying to report.
And the sources that I looked at for this, there was a lady. Her name. Let me pull it up because I don't want to say the name. Because her name is. I want to say it's Catherine Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Thomas and Isaac. Let me just tell you a second. She worked on education policy for the Department of Education under Reagan.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're always. Europeans crack me up, but yeah.
No,
oh yeah, I get it though.
She's American. She's American. She's American. And interestingly enough,
no, I call white people European though.
But interesting. But here's the thing. Interestingly enough, her husband was from Belgium. And one of the things that she said in I'll pull it up in 1 second. Let me just pull it up. one of the things that she said in the video,
I call it.
one of the videos that I looked up, if you guys want to go look it up, it's called "The Truth About the Education System." It is on YouTube. On YouTube, that's the video that the interview with her was in. And her name is, I'm just pulling it up. 1 second. Well, while I'm waiting for her name to come up, one of the things she was telling, one of the things that she mentioned in the video is that, you know, her husband was from Belgium, and apparently, you know, all this stuff that we now know about the New World Order, you know, about how, you know, what they wanted to do and everything. They have been teaching that in Europe in schools forever. They've always known that that's what they wanted to do. Okay, her name is Charlotte. Her name is Charlotte Thomas, but her her husband's last name is Eisenweiss, and she was the policy advisor for the Department of Education in the Reagan era. Prior to that, she worked for the Department of Foreign Affairs. Prior to that, she worked for the Red Cross, and she talked about there being change agents all over, and that's how they were able to, you know, make certain things happen, because they put change agents within the education system to start steering it certain ways. That's why we have things like, think about it. When we were in school, they taught us to read using phonetical principles. They don't use the phonetical principles anymore. Now they use whole word. They changed the way that they do math. They have this new way of doing math that's supposed to be easier, but it's like it contradicts the old way of doing math. So it's certain things. It's certain things that they have changed, and then there's certain things that they omit from what they teach, from what our kids learn in school. Like, for example, why do kids in Europe learn about the New World Order when they're going to school, you know, before they graduate from high school? And we never hear about it unless, you know, we happen to go perusing around YouTube these days, or if you just happen to be in those particular circles that were looking at stuff like that prior to YouTube, you know. But I'm just saying, it's like, things, because all of that is in regards to the finances, and it's regarding what they want, what the role is by changing the way that we have our education system, dumbing down everything. It'll make it easier for when they make these regions, because the way that they see it is that we will be part of these regions, you know, these United States in certain regions. And I'm talking about like North America, South America. There'll be United State regions in Europe and in Africa and in the, you know, in the Saudis and all over, so that they can have this New World Order and push all of the world resources through that one thing. And of course, the people who are behind all of these things are the Carnegie Mellons and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and, you know, those kind of people. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of this stuff is dealing with, you know, conspiracy, which is not really a conspiracy because it's real. Because there really is a New World Order. It's you know, it's not a myth. I mean, but what I'm saying is that they're conversing certain things. If you look at the U.S. education and how we are educated, you and I know that up to college, our education system is crappy compared to other nations' education systems because of the way that we now educate our students, with things like No Child is Left Behind, having teachers to teach within this certain box and don't do anything that's outside of this box, and the stuff that's really in the box that they're teaching them is worthless principles because the stuff that they're not going to actually have to use, aren't giving them the things that they are going to have to use in order to thrive in the real world. That's what I'm talking about, is how they have dumbed down the education, because there's a lot of things that were in the education system probably prior to 1960, but gradually they have been pulling those things out of the education, i.e. music, i.e. art, i.e. business classes, typing classes, machine, home economic classes. That's how they're dumbing down the education, because they're not putting our education system so that people can do what we're supposed to do, what this nation was supposed to be built upon. It's basically to make us be, you know what I'm saying? The word it's just leaving my head right now. Conforming.
Oh yeah.
Conforming. Everything is to conform. They want everything to conform. That's part of more of the. That's probably more of a communistic view than a socialist view, because a socialist view is more that everybody should be equal. But the communist view is more, that they put people in these certain levels, and this is as far as you're going to go, and it's based on the needs of people. Sorry about that. I knocked my bottle over. My soda. I'm good. Yep, I'm good. But it just spilled. It spilled on my shoe.
Oh man! Oh, we didn't ruin it.
No, it wasn't that much. And it's my Uggs.
Okay.
But it'll be okay. It spilled on my Uggs.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know how a lot of the stuff that is taught to us at the college level. Now, at the college level, our colleges are probably more in line with the rest of the world, and maybe in some places they supersede that. But the way that they have our education system set up, with the way that they have dumbed down the education, our students, the American students, it's harder for them to get into the higher education institutions here. And they did that on purpose.
For what purpose? The reasoning.
Think about it. Because most of us are conditioned to think, they have you conditioned to think that you can't get certain types of, you can't get to certain status levels without a college degree. But yet and still they narrow the playing field so that the majority have a more difficult time getting into even state schools, where they should be meeting the curriculum of higher education. Yet our state schools in each state are generally not meeting the requirements to get into the state schools in our states. So then that means that there's a gap. So
you're saying they're lowering
the expectations to graduate from high school, but they're not lowering the expectations to get into college.
And then they're raising standards. Okay, so they can't possibly meet up to it then. Yeah, see your point. Yeah.
But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not even saying that education isn't the most important thing as far as college, but the basic education that is being given to our citizens sucks. And they have changed
Mm-hmm.
how what we are teaching our students over time. I mean, now they're bringing in instead of bringing music back to school so our kids can get higher test scores in math. Now they're bringing in lifestyle. That's part of the education. I don't think that's part of the
Mm-hmm.
education in other countries, but it's part of our education system here. As far as, you know, being
Mm-hmm.
gender fluid, being bisexual, feeling like you are transgender, all of that is now part of the education system as well.
Right.
Because that that's a big fight here in
People
California,
trying to
right?
get around that.
They don't have any exemptions for it.
In
They're
terms of
forcing
what?
it.
Terms.
Yeah, there's no exemptions. There are no
Right.
exemptions. It's part of the curriculum. They're trying to force it into the curriculum in the schools, state by state.
Right. Right. Is there any way around it though?
So far as from what I'm seeing, I don't believe there's any exemptions in public education. Obviously, that means that if you can
Right. But there's
afford,
nothing parents could do to.
well, I think that they're lobbying against
Right.
it being
Is there
put into
anything
the
parents
school.
could do to steer their to avoid it? To avoid, well, what I'm saying is, can parents avoid it by steering their kids around it and still getting them prepared for college anyway? Is that possible? Still,
No, because I think it's part of one. I think it's part of, like, the health classes and stuff. Whatever, they're even putting it in the textbooks. That's part of all of the stuff that
right?
they're talking about
I,
putting
I,
in. Yeah, and I mean, because you and I don't have kids that are that age. My son is thankfully out of school, so I don't have to. But from what I understand, it's part of
mm-hmm.
public education. Obviously, if you have your kids in private school, you don't have to deal with it. But that's not where most people's kids are going to be, and this includes charter schools because they are public school. And I don't know if
Right.
homeschoolers are exempt. How about that? I don't know if homeschoolers are exempt, because that means whoever their
Right.
online teacher is has to teach them that. And I know about it being in California. I'm not sure about that particular part being in other states, because you have the bathroom issue in other states. Bathroom.
Yes.
The bathroom.
Yes.
The bathroom issues. People being able to go to the bathroom based on their gender, or whatever they feel their gender is. So I'm not even, but
Yes.
on the education thing, it's like all of this stuff when I was listening to it, and I've got to get some more information, because there was another video that I watched like about a year ago, and I need to rewatch, that was really went into more details about how they've changed how they've shifted the way that we educate our students,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not, and it goes into it doesn't go into the conspiracy theory parts, but it still kind of takes you to the same conclusion. that they're systematically trying to I mean we all know that there's issues with what's being taught in the schools, especially as far as, like things how things have been put into history books in regards to slavery. And twisting that whole concept in some books. Of course, I believe they've had to change that because it was brought to the general public's attention. But there was some textbook that made it seem like the slaves enjoyed being enslaved. And I think that might have been like last year that was out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's profound.
I'm listening. I'm looking at what Matt said.
It would seem that
there's no class on how to hustle unless you're going for tech. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how do they expect their country to stay competitive if they're dumbing everything down? As you said earlier, I'm sure foreign countries are not doing that. So why would these people do that on purpose? You know what I mean?
Well, think about it. Even though we think of our country as being a free country and we being the model for the truly independent colony, there's still strings that are being pulled up by other places because of agreements that were made by previous administrations. And apparently, all of these things that were done in the 20th century are still continuing. They're literally continuing the stuff that they started as far as pushing it. It may not be going quite the way that they planned, but we can all see that our secondary education is not what it should be. But getting back,
it seemed like it would be something that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It would just seem like whatever gaps need to be, whatever gaps need to be filled in, or whatever the need where the need was deficient. It seemed like, at least in primary schools, a parent could fill that in. Whatever's lacking, if they know mathematics or if English is lacking.
Not if they went to the same education system.
Yeah, you would think that they would add some things. Right. But you would think they would add some things outside of the curricula to supplement. I'm talking about on their own. I'm not talking about through the system.
No. I agree.
To add on to actually fill in the gap.
But think about it. If you
That's
think
what I'm getting at. When I asked that earlier.
Yeah, but if you think about it, a lot of parents, sadly, don't get involved in the stuff when their kids get, when they get to high school. It's like if the kid wants to go to college, they got to make sure that they got the classes and all of this stuff. They don't even have decent guidance counselors anymore in a lot of these schools. So, yeah, you could say that the parents could be more proactive, but that's not what's happening, especially when we're talking about some of the inner city schools.
Yeah, I know most black parents are not involved. Sure.
And see, the thing is that if they're making these adjustments,
I'm sure that's what they're betting on.
If they're making these adjustments, just think about the fact that if they're making these adjustments, then whatever adjustments they're making, they're going to they are more severely affecting kids that are in urban schools, because unfortunately they never seem to have the same materials as the other schools do, or the same resources. They basically give them a box in which the kids need to fall within. And I gotta look more into the No Kid Left Behind thing, because even though they have the No Kid Left Behind thing that came in when Bush was in office, it's I always tell you that it's no kid left behind unless they have autism, and that's real, because there's like little caveats in there that exempt them from having to include those kids. But I'm gonna just go into I'm gonna get more in the No Kid Left Behind, because that also has something to do with them dumbing down the school process. Because if no kid is left behind, then that means that they're going to bring it down to the lowest versus moving it up, making them move up to that. So I'm going to probably talk about that, not tomorrow, but maybe during the week. I'm going to talk about that.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds like a good topic to discuss.
You're right about that, Matt. And see, that's the thing with not having music and I keep saying this. That's the reason why a lot of kids stop doing well in math. Having music when they are in their primary education helps, because they learn how to do fractions, and they learn how to different types of numerical sequences with the music, because it's all numeric, and that has been shown to help kids do better in math, because math and music actually go together. I mean, I mean, obviously, y'all know I was a math major in college, okay, and I'm also into music, but I also know that the history of music is that music started out as a science. Back when you had your Greek philosophers who were and everything, who were having their schools, music was considered a science, which makes sense.
Yes.
And if any of y'all know, music degrees are not very easy to get, because they're doing more than just playing an instrument. So, they have to do a lot more than that. But I know we've been on here for a few.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, you didn't realize we've been on here for a couple hours. But tomorrow, Terry.
I came too late then. Okay.
No, but tomorrow, because I know that Kinks is I think she's gonna do her thing tomorrow. If she doesn't, yeah, I would. And see, I was there today. But
you are? Okay.
I was there, but then she had to leave because somebody was at her door. I don't know either. But she said she was gonna do tomorrow. So but tomorrow, if you want, I would like for you to go over that next part that you wanted to go over in our series of that's going to lead us to the new world order.
Oh, okay. Oh, you talking about the PLO? Okay. Yeah, we
Yep.
can do that. I'm gonna also I'm doing her part too as well. On well we did a dual discussion on liberation and spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we'll try to take a what we lost out. But yeah, sure, I'll be available for that, I'm sure.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah, dry throat. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
No
I was
problem.
thinking, yeah, because that would be good
No problem.
because you know, in our conversation, in our 5-hour conversation last night,
All right.
we, t- we
Yeah.
we touched on some of that stuff, but I think it would
Yes.
be good.
Yeah.
It would be good
Sure,
if we
sure.
elaborate, you know, when we just have that as being what the topic is. There may be some other things, you know, that I talk about at the beginning, but I wanted to really kind of focus on that tomorrow.
Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we do that. Not a problem.
You know, but
I'll be happy to.
and then but I am going to talk about that, about this No Kid Left Behind that still exists, you guys, by the way. Still exists. And what it really means to the education system. You know,
Hmm.
I know, you know, I was a helicopter parent, and but a lot of people are not helicopter parents. So,
Right.
you know, but I want to talk about the No Child Left Behind, because when they did that, it really has more of effect on our kids, as you well know. So I'll talk about that one during the week, but I want to
All right.
get more of
Okay.
my stuff together on it. But yeah, tomorrow
Okay.
I have actually finished that Whitney Houston book, so I may talk about that at the beginning, because that'll be a nice light topic.
Yeah,
and
it'd be fun also.
and you know
Yeah.
and you know and I'll leave R. Kelly alone until, you know, next week, until later on in the week.
He's
I mean,
yeah,
he's so
I think
he's
isn't he
so
facing some
sorry.
extra charges now?
They putting that fool up under the jail. He ain't never going.
Yeah, the way it
The
looks.
only singing he gonna be doing is jailhouse singing.
Yeah, by the looks
Exactly.
of things now, yeah, like some fresh charges are starting to be
Well,
brought up now. Yeah,
they pulled
of course.
Aaliyah. They pulled Aaliyah into it. They
Right.
pulled her into it
Wow.
because they're calling that
That's
racketeering.
crazy.
They took a minor across lines and married her. He was a minor,
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
he took her across lines.
interesting.
You know,
Yes.
just, you know how everybody was saying that never really happened. We all knew it did.
Hey, right.
Yeah, they was
Yeah, I
like,
heard
you
a
know,
little bit about it back in those days. Yeah.
yeah, it was supposedly a
So,
urban legend, but no, it was not a legend. It really happened. He married her.
wow.
He married her.
Well, okay.
See, now,
Okay,
that's like,
that'll be
see,
great.
now the iPad music is
I'll
working
definitely be
fine
on
for
hand for
us.
that.
I was like, all I need to do, Terry, is I need
Mm,
to figure out how to share my screen when I only have one computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
I think other people do that, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like one of these test thingies.
Right.
You know, come into StreamYard and just create a test session and where I don't actually go live and figure it out. That's what I'm going
that's the best thing to do.
So I can figure out how to
cool, yeah.
put the screen up there so I can be fancy like everybody else. And then we can actually I can actually like show stuff in relation to something that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So what I might do,
that'd be a good idea.
I can figure out how to do it by tomorrow, I may pull some stuff up on the PLO.
All right, that'd be fine.
That I can contribute.
That'll be. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, you know, as far as it's pictorial stuff, you know, if I can do that, then if you like have things, then I can actually maybe pull them up and display them. You know, if there's articles and stuff, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So we'll see. I'll try to figure that out. I like shoot because if Leffert can figure out how to do it, but my butt should be able to figure it out. I say Leffert.
True.
Leffert figured out how to do it. I'm smart too, so.
Leffert. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm stretching. Wow. Had a long day today, but yeah, that'll be fun. I'll definitely plan on that.
I don't. In the next time I go live when I'm out, I got to make sure I'm someplace where when I walk in, I still have a signal because it like knocked my signal off. And the only thing I got when I was in the store, guys, was a belt for my son because he keeps breaking belts. So I went and got him another belt so he can hold his pants up.
Wow. Right.
Yeah. So you
talking about just the belts is wearing out.
No, you know,
just wearing out.
You pull the leather too tight, and then you start to wear it out, and it pops. Yeah, he's literally breaking leather belts. He's rough on them. He's rough on them.
Right.
So I bought two. So we'll see. We'll hope that if he interchanges between the two, that they'll last at least 6 months. I'm hoping because I'm usually buying him a belt every month and a half. He's rough on belts.
Often. Wow.
Yeah, because he, even after you pull the belt to a certain thing, he wants to refix it, and then he messes with it all, and he starts fiddling with it. You know, so I don't know what he's doing to his belts when he's out at work. So we'll see. But anyway, guys. Yeah, Palestine. Yeah, the PLO.
Oh,
yeah. No, I'm just answering that. I'm like in regards to the
we're talking about.
In regards to my favorite subject, the Khazarian Jews, dude. And there was some stuff that was in the news. Was it today? It was some stuff in the news that was, I think it was today, that just made me think about all of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Did you know that
biggest hoax of
Tiffany Haddish is Jewish?
Oh really?
Did you know that?
Wow. That's funny.
But she's part of the real. But that's because of her being Iranian.
Right.
Apparently, her father Her father was Jewish, but it was illegal to practice Judaism in that country because it was a Christian country.
Yeah, I see.
So I said, well, then that would make her part of the Ethiopians, part of that part of. I said, oh, well, then she's not actually part of the ones. I said, but she don't know that. She don't even have, I said, she's one who has not even a freaking clue that those people are not the real Jews.
Right.
Yep. She was talking about her being Jewish, and she had for her 40th birthday, she had a bat mitzvah, and she invited people like Billy Crystal, Jimmy Kimmel,
Right.
the other Jews.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Because what her father told her was she was an Israelite.
Right.
And when she went and did a DNA, and it did confirm that, I was like, see, that's the thing. These other people, if they do a DNA, it's not going to lead them back to. It's not going to lead them back to this. And she did the DNA, and it led her back to that, which means she's part of the real one. Let me just, you know how I feel about it.
Absolutely, I do.
I'm sorry, guys. I almost went into a rant.
No, that's okay. No, it's okay. I mean, again, upon researching the stuff those years ago, I didn't like it either, because it, again, as I might have mentioned, it's a
Last night, guys, and if it did, then he's not coming back. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go ahead and end our time tonight, guys. And then until tomorrow, I just want to say to you guys, peace. Oh, there's Terry. Wait a minute.
Did I do that? Did I kick myself out, or did I just do it on its own? Oh, I'm sorry. I must have. No, I apologize. Huh?
No, I'm telling Mark said I'm fading out. I'm here, Mark.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I know you're about to end the stream. I was just saying that it's an African religion. They're pimping our religion, so it's our job to attack the lie. You understand? So to set things correct. So that's what that's what it was. And we're formed in the anti-Zionist front, a political anti-Zionist front against Zionism. So.
And the thing is that it's like I said, no one is truly really anti-Semitic, because that's not really what it's about. Because in all honesty, these Khazarian Jews, they are being used. They are being willingly used. At least the original ones were willing participants. Now their descendants, a lot of them have no idea. Have no idea. You know what I'm saying? They're, even though, like I said, a rational person, knows that you can't turn from black to white. I'm just saying. A rational person knows that.
Right. But designers understand that, though. They do this deliberately. They understand exactly what they're doing. They just want to stay in power, though, by any means that they can.
I can't wait till
they didn't have.
It's like, even if we not here.
Well, if they didn't have Western. If they didn't have Western support, they would sink immediately within a day. That's the only way that they actually are staying in place, is because United States and Great Britain. Those are the only two reasons that they're saying. So they couldn't stay afloat on their own. There's no way they could. That's how weak they really are.
And the only reason they claim that the U.S. claims is that they're there is so that they can keep Iraq from doing whatever. Well, Iraq ain't doing crap. Iraq ain't even got nothing to do with this.
All right.
They just need to have a political stronghold over there, basically to intimidate both Africans and the Arabs, and to keep them against each other. With Israel playing,
it's definitely a power
with
move.
Israel playing right down the middle to pit them against each other. But we'll go into that when we talk about the Palestinian Liberation Army too, and how they're involved in
all right
this stuff.
All right, sis. Well, thank you.
I know more than I say, but I kind of dibble and dabble in a lot of different things because I just like to know about a lot of stuff. But I always defer to people who have more research knowledge on different subjects, because I don't know it all.
You're doing pretty well, sis.
I try.
You're doing pretty well. Trust me.
I mean, if you're gonna, because if I'm gonna get up here and talk about something, I at least need to do some research before I get up here and start talking about it. At least
and that's appreciated, because many people are. Well, I mean, that's appreciated because there's too many people as it is that insist on talking from ignorance, don't do any research at all. So I definitely appreciate that personally, and I respect it as well. Just got too many ignorant people on YouTube just talking out the side of their neck. Don't even want to study, read anything, and then act like they're scholars. I mean, it's just you can see the disingenuous behavior. It's just obvious. There's a blatant disrespect for scholarship. It ticks me off, to be honest with you.
I know.
It should anchor anyone that has anything to do with scholarship, because and it's not so much just those usual people. It's a lot of folks on YouTube that are just.
I agree.
They know that they have no idea what they're talking about. This is a shame that they sitting there and they know they're lying and they want to act like. Well, they have such a disrespect of those who are listening to them. They think the people who are listening to them are dumber than they are. I'm like, geez, I can't even stomach it. I can only listen to a couple of minutes and I'm out. So,
Man,
so yeah, so,
I was
yeah,
in
I appreciate you. So
I was in a chat today, and they were talking about. Well, they had someone call in, and the person who called in had a speech impediment. Okay, and so one of the mods in the chat said something about autism. So I came back, and they kept saying it, and I kept saying, that's not autism. It's not autism. Then another mod said, no. Another mod said, that's a speech impediment. So then I finally came back and said to the mod who said it, I said, excuse me, so-and-so and so-and-so. That person has something else other than autism going on. As an autism mom and caregiver for an autism adult, I'm just saying. Because he thought it was funny. I'm like, dude, that ain't autism. This dude is stuttering and talking slow because he don't know how to talk. He has a speech impediment. You know, like what's his name? Spinks. Like him. That's how he talks.
right,
You know.
right.
That's how this dude talks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not autism. I said, because I said, here's the thing. People with autism, they actually speak clear. They may sound like a child when they're talking, but they speak clearer than that. This dude was stuttering. Like, you know, he was like, you know, and I was like, no, that's a speech impediment. Man.
Yeah, that guy had no idea what autism was, and I said that. It interests when they do that. Just intellectual dishonesty and laziness.
I'm telling you,
read something, man. You know, study something, and have something to contribute later on. You know, and yeah, I could do that a lot to people. You know, go into live streams and do that, but I understand it's a struggle, and we're all at different levels. But if somebody's going to talk about important issues, they should have some, at least a modicum of understanding. So, you know, it just they disrespect
and
the people that they're talking
to. Thing, the host was being very, very patient with the person because it was clear something was going on with them, you know, and everybody was saying she's being really, and then, you know, I was just like, I said, but that's not autism. I said, you obviously don't know what autism is. I said, that's not even somebody who has mental retardation, because I could tell by how the dude was talking, because he said something to the host, you know, called them the N-word and said blah blah. I said, no, that person don't have autism. They just have a speech impediment. Wow. They know exactly what they're saying. It just doesn't make sense to you because this person was saying they did not believe that R. Kelly could have possibly done anything, because they were talking about R. Kelly and the person called in about it. Lord, why'd they do that?
Very interesting.
Yeah. But I'm gonna let you guys go, because I know I'm just talking, and I will continue to.
All right, sis. I'll go there.
And I'll let y'all. Yep. And I will.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming up, Terry. As always, thank everybody in the chat for sticking around. I appreciate you guys. I really, really, really do. Because you could be anywhere else. I hope, as always, any conversation that I have, or that anyone that I have up on my platform, is informative to you guys, because that's really what I hope to do. You know, of course, we always have fun with some of the stuff and everything, you know, and some things are my opinion, and generally, if it's just my opinion, I'm gonna say it's just my opinion, you know. But I just want, you know, to always put something out there that makes you think during these times when we're having our not so random chats. So, but I'm gonna get us out of here. I am just queuing back up the music, so we'll have our music on the go out. So I'm just pulling it back up, and then I'm gonna play it so we can just be on our way going. Let me just get it back up so I can hear it. There we go. All right, guys. But until later on today, because it's already after midnight here on the West Coast, thank you for coming. And I will see you guys probably out in these YouTube streets sometime today, because I probably will pop up again and do a daytime live. But until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Bye, everybody.